Okay, this is about the essential missing pieces, which I think is the way that I explain this to myself. The way that I'm using this exercise is like picturing myself back in the past, then going back into the past to explain to myself things that I've found out. And it's like when I started in the past, I was ignorant of most things. So if I went back into myself in the past to say what I'd found out, it'd be like this, like a conversation with myself regarding what I consider important in regard to everything that is occurring in the timeline. So basically, I realized that a lot of the problem is due to, let's say to myself in the past, was basically down to ignorance of just about everything. The problem is that what I essentially needed to know was not conveyed to me. Most of the things that were conveyed to me were of little value. It was only after I left the education system and the different systems that I started to find out what I really needed to know, as opposed to what the so-called system was telling me, right? So in regard to this, right, it eventually I've led to the conclusion that the system is purposely misdirecting, misinforming, miseducating the majority of the public for a specific reason, right? And so, obviously, when I got into understanding biblical scripture, it was already accounted for what that reason was. And so, coming back on myself regarding how I'd explain to myself certain areas, certain missing pieces that are essential in order to grasp what is going on. These missing pieces, I would start with definitely the Protestant Reformation and the Counter-Reformation that followed shortly afterwards. Now, I know that chronologically this is not in a chronological sequence of events in order to understand, but what I'm saying is it's like the Protestant Reformation is like the height of where everything was going and where everything is, rising and then coming down. That's the way I see it, because it was the Protestant Reformation which created the constitutions. It was the constitutions which gave us our freedom and liberties, which we'd never had before under the so-called Roman Vatican Catholic Church system, which used the Inquisition to keep everybody in line. With the breaking away from the Roman Inquisitional system, we had democracy and freedoms, the right to practice our religions without interference by anybody else. We were protected by a law of the Constitution, which we'd never had before. So the essential major piece in all this is the Protestant Reformation. But the other piece which follows directly after that is the Counter-Reformation designed by the beast system itself to destroy this Protestant Reformation and replace it once again with a Dark Age.